Hi, and welcome back to Between Screenings. I'm joined again by Tom Percival for all your film chat. Today we're going to be talking about the things we've seen recently. We'll do a bit more of a preview of the Manchester Film Festival, and we're going to make our Oscar predictions, aren't we, Tom?
We are indeed, Neil.
I feel like we've been talking about Oscar predictions for like the last 3 months.
To be honest, I find it all very tedious. Like, I feel like I know we're going to talk a little bit about Timmy Chalamet, but I think his old school put out an Instagram post this weekend saying that ranking art is by itself inherently stupid. And I do dislike the notion that there is a best or worst film. And I just think it's all people want to talk about. Like, there's a film that I saw this week, and as I was leaving the screening room, the immediate conversation among critics was, "Oh, well, it's probably too early for it to be a Best Picture contender." And you're like, why does that matter? Like, this film should exist as a piece of art on its own merit. Why do we care? I realize I'm an outlier in not giving a shit about the Oscars, but I just don't. And aside from occasionally putting eyes on a film that otherwise people wouldn't see, like Parasite, I'm just not that arsed. I'll be honest with you. I just don't care.
No, I think, like you say, we watch a lot of films, and we've probably seen most, if not all, of the Best Picture nominees, and kind of make sure we do because we want to watch good films, not because we want to rank the Oscar movies and have a say in the conversation necessarily. I think the conversations around it's maybe too early is it? Sinners came out at the end of March, April last year, and that's in the conversations. I think, yes, there is a strategic corridor that people try and release in, but if your film's a banger, your film's a banger.
Completely agree. And again, when we go through what we've seen, I'll talk a little bit more about the Sinners comparison with this movie because it was giving me those vibes.
Right. Okay. So let's get into it, Tom. What have you seen since we last chatted?
So I've seen 2 movies since we last chatted. I've seen Scream 7. I can do this review super quickly. Bag of shit. Genuinely one of the most disappointing things I've seen this year.
But
I know
did quite well at the box office.
did very well at the box office because essentially,
They
people
paid
would
£7 million to get Neve Campbell back.
Yeah, basically, and I mean, I'm not gonna lie. When I saw this film, the killer took off the mask, and my mate, who was sat next to me, turned to me and went, "Who's that?" It's just it isn't what you want in a slasher movie. It's just clunky. Like it's everything you think the Scream reboot was gonna be. That's what this movie is. Just like lazy cliches. It's boring. Doesn't make a lot of sense. Just terrible. And I'll say this: what really annoys me about it is the kills in it are actually quite good in a way, and that means but that just means everything around it irritates me more because it's like, oh, so you put in, you did try a little bit, but then you just couldn't be asked to finish it. It's like a student who is good, is smart, but then is constantly getting C's in their homework, and you as a teacher just get irritated with them. I don't know why I'm using a teacher metaphor. I have never been a teacher in my life. Maybe I'm appealing to you, Neil, but it just
Maybe.
pissed me off. Pissed me off, to be blunt.
Well, I hope the other film you saw was better then.
It certainly was, because I saw Project Hail Mary, the new Ryan Gosling sci-fi film, and I'm careful to avoid spoilers, even though the trailer literally gives away the big reveal of the movie. The sun is dying, and he goes on a mission into space to save Earth, basically. This is my favorite film of the year, and seems likely to stay in my top 10, barring disaster. I've seen a lot of people sell it online. I mean, its Rotten Tomatoes score came out today. I think it's currently sat on 94%. So, done really well with critics. I've seen some people say it's a bit cloying. It's a bit too overly optimistic. I don't care. I really needed it. It's one of those sci-fi movies where, yes, there is peril, but you never think for a second that these people aren't going to get out of it. But it doesn't matter because you enjoy their company so much. I was moved to tears at points. I was thrilled at points. I had a fantastic time with it. It reminded, as I say, this is the movie that as I left, people were like, "Oh my God, that was incredible." It's a shame it's come out so early because it's going to get forgotten in the Best Picture race next year. I don't think it would ever have a chance because sci-fi is not one of the genres that people particularly enjoy. But people were comparing it to Sinners in terms of you have a big populist movie that could, in theory, get some awards attention. Like it feels like it has that sort of gravitas to it, if you know what I mean. Maybe not to the extent that Sinners does, because obviously Sinners, made by Ryan Coogler, starring Michael B. Jordan, their names have been in contention for awards for a while. But it felt to me like it's one of those movies that you just, as soon as you're out of it, you're like, that is a DVD buy. That's going on the shelf. Like it needs to be owned. I absolutely loved it. I thought Ryan Gosling was amazing in it, especially because he's essentially playing off himself for the majority of the film. If you can see this, I would say see this in IMAX, the biggest screen possible, and you'll have a fantastic time. I also, for those people who've read the book, had someone who had read the book sat next to me, and they spent the walk to the tube station after the film telling me how close it was to the book and how impressed they were that they'd managed to honour the spirit of the book so much. It's by the guy who wrote The Martian, so
Yes.
it's got a lot in common with that. But I adored this movie, and I think, Neil, you're going to love it.
It sounds right up my street, so I can't wait to see it. So I've seen two sort of contrasting films since we last saw each other. Neither of them particularly cheery. I saw If I Had Legs, I'd Kick You, starring
Yes.
Ros Byrne. She's Oscar nominated for Best Actress for it, and she turns in a stellar performance. I've
seen it, by the way, so I know
You have?
exactly. Yeah.
I mean, it's the sort of film. It is the sort of film that it's her close up for pretty much the whole 2 hours runtime, which didn't need to be 2 hours. I mean, if I was going to do anything with this film, I'd cut half an hour out of it. I thought her performance was really good. It is not a fun watch. It is hard. It is stressful. It is frustrating, which is meant to be. I could get that. Not seeing the kid, you're sort of like, what's wrong with there's a bit of an uncanny valley sort of thing. Like, is she just spiraling and going mad? Like, is this postpartum depression, or is she actually just dealing with everyone around her just letting her down? Because it seems like everyone around her, all the men around her, are just letting her down. So yeah, I came out of it and I didn't really know what I was meant to take away from it, I think was the difficult bit. I was like, what am I meant to think about this afterwards? So it's one of those ones where I then spent some time reading about it online and things. No one really had a particularly good answer of what I was meant to take away from it. There were bits that just really frustrated me. Like there's bits at the end where her husband comes back and suddenly is renovating the house in the middle of the night. And I'm like, but I don't know any builders who'd work in the middle of the night all of a sudden. Like, none of this makes any sense. But is this meant to be like a figment of her imagination, or isn't it? She was great. The film wasn't, I didn't think.
I think the film is meant to be a little. Those moments are meant to make you question, what are we seeing here? Because, she keeps looking into the hole in the ceiling and there's what's up there, those types of things. I do agree it's a film anchored by a great performance that otherwise I don't necessarily think people would be that interested in.
I mean, it's kind of a horror film. I wish it had done more of a horror turn in the third act. I wish it had gone full on, like when the guy falls through the hole in the ceiling and stuff. And she's, the bit where there are spoilers here, so please, if you haven't seen the film and you really want to watch it, don't. But there's a bit where she's pulling the tube out.
Yes.
Like those are sort of slightly body horror-y bits. And I think I wish it had just gone a bit more mad at the end, because I think that kind of would have been more fun, a bit more leaned into the horror. But it's not a bad film. It's not something I'll ever watch again because it's a bit too much. I'm kind of glad I saw it. Her performance, like you say, is great, but I don't think she'll be winning a Best Actress for it, because I think Jessie Buckley has got that sewn up just to mix Oscar chat in.
Yeah. I mean, aside from the fact that Jessie Buckley tried to self-sabotage by telling everyone she hates cats and then had to come out and explain that she doesn't hate cats, and because there's some major damage control going on there.
You can't even say you just dislike cats nowadays, because it might affect your Oscars chances. That's mad.
Yeah, you can't say anything. You can't say you hate the ballet. You can't say opera's boring. Anything like that will ruin your chances.
Yeah, well, let's quickly talk about the Shyamalan stuff then. I mean, I kind of get where he was coming from. I think the silly thing he said was that that's the reason he's not doing those things, rather than maybe that he couldn't because he doesn't have the talent or the determination to be a ballet dancer or an opera singer. But I think his general point of they are not something that the general population are interested in is kind of valid. Like they're not. They're niche.
It is.
That
They are
doesn't diminish
niche.
them as art forms, but they are more niche.
No, I completely agree, and I think it speaks to. I think that the reason why this has caught on with people to quite the extent it has is that there has been a lot of talk about the arrogance that Chalamet is displaying during this year's awards season. And I actually don't see it, to be completely honest. I saw people criticizing him after the Screen Actors, the SAG Awards, saying like that there was a really arrogant speech. And I didn't really get what people were on about, to be honest, because to me, I thought he wasn't comparing himself to the greats. He was saying, "I wish these are the people I aspire to be," and I think if it had just been if this had been an isolated incident, people probably wouldn't have said anything. But the fact that it happened with this increasing narrative that Charmalet's gone off the deep end and he's smelling his own farts, like that's the type of like it's a narrative that's building, and this type of thing allows critics to come in and say, "Oh, he's gone mad. He's ranking art," and obviously. What he meant to say is movies have a wider appeal and are watched by more people. Like that's basic, and that's undeniable. Like we, I have never been to the ballet. I've never been to the opera, but I go to the movies 3 times a week. Do you know what I mean? Like it's more accessible. That's part of it, but it's more accessible because it's more popular.
Yeah, you don't have to learn anything to go and watch it. You can
No,
anyone with no knowledge can go in and enjoy it. And I don't know if that is the case with ballet. I've been to the ballet, and I can massively appreciate the technical ability of the dancers. I can massively appreciate the skill, the years of work that have gone into it, and how unbelievable they are as performers. Do I really enjoy watching it for 2 hours? Sadly, not really. But I kind of feel like, is that because I don't know enough? I don't like. I'm not denigrating it in any way because I think it's really impressive. I just don't connect with it. And I think if he'd maybe framed it slightly differently, he'd have been all right. But it does seem like rival studios do like to run slight smear campaigns against their competitors in Best Actor and Best Picture races, and he seems to have been quite an easy target recently. Because all you can attack Leonardo DiCaprio for is, all
suit.
you can attack Leonardo DiCaprio for is the age of his girlfriends, because he doesn't let
Yes.
anyone know anything else about him.
Yep, that's very true. Yeah,
But every single studio, if they want to pick one of those Best Actor nominees, Timothée Chalamet, Leonardo DiCaprio, Ethan Hawke, Michael B. Jordan, or Wagner Moura, if you're picking one of them in 2026 to open your movie and get people in the cinema, I'm picking Timmy.
I think that's a very fair thing to say. He's also he's the easiest, isn't he, to pick on of them, basically. But you're right.
He's the young upstart, isn't he? So, pick on the young upstart.
Yes. What else have you seen this week, Neil?
So I've also seen Wasteman, which follows on from me seeing Animal at the Berlinale, which was a young offenders prison drama. This is a adult prison drama. Tom Blythe is in it, and he is great as a sort of not very nice, but also nice kind of new prison cellmate of David Johnson. So David Johnson's suddenly discovers partway through the film that he's going to get out, and he can get out. But Tom Blythe's character is very much just making the most he can of his situation. So he's dealing drugs in prison. He's making sure he's got everything he needs. He's sort of the man inside. but then he butts up against the people who are already the main guys. There's a lot of general prison drama type stuff happens in it, but I think there's enough twists in it to keep it interesting. I think the sort of the runtime absolutely whipped along. The performances were really, really good. I really enjoyed it. I thought it was great. Yeah, there was lots of aspects of it I really enjoyed. I liked the way it was shot. I thought was really cool. They sort of mixed in phone footage a lot of the time as well, which made it feel a lot more real. It was a very solid prison drama.
I mean,
But if you
I
don't like
would
prison
expect,
dramas, don't go and watch it because you won't. You won't.
I would expect nothing less, basically, based on the cast alone. I mean, David Johnson, of course, the Film Festival alumni, because he was
He
in
is.
Riley, which opened 2024, did it?
So I believe, yeah, I think 2024.
But although I've been watching Industry basically for the last 2 weeks at night as my before bed program. He is very good in the first 2 seasons of that as
Nice.
well.
Obviously, also starring Kit Harington, who will be at the opening night of Manchester Film Festival. You'll be having a chat with him after his film Psychopomp.
I will indeed. I'm very much looking forward to it. Should we have a little bit more of a chat about Manchester Film Festival, which is terrifyingly close now, to be completely honest with you, Neil?
It is terrifyingly close. It's sneaking up on us. I mean, the exciting thing is we seem to be selling out screenings already, which is nice. So there's a few screenings that have already sold out. Some that you just don't predict. I think we talked about last time that The Last Viking seems to have sold out. Mads Mikkelsen heist movie, people just going mad for. Other films that are doing really well. We've got obviously some Manchester stuff that sold out at screenings at home. So 2 world premieres of Manchester directors' films. We've got the Northwest Shorts always sells out, so they're pretty much done. So if you want tickets and you actually want to be able to get into the things you want to see, you need to book now, really, because everything seems to be selling really well. Urupkja, the Charlie XCX film, that's pretty much gone.
Surprising.
Yeah, I mean, it would be lovely if Charlie came, but she's not going to. She's a busy lady.
I mean, I'll give you that's fair. I mean, she could have had a great time with us, at the after party. But I understand she's got busy,
Yeah, but no, I mean, so there's loads going on. We've sold so far. Yeah, we're about 10% up on individual ticket sales from this point last year, and we're 25% up on pass sales from the entirety of last year.
Wow.
So yeah, we've already sold over 500 passes, and we only sold 400 total last year.
Jeez.
So
She's
yeah,
doing
crazy.
very well.
It is all doing very well. And I'll be on. I did an interview with BBC Northwest tonight on Monday, so that'll be going out just before the festival. And I'm going to be on Nick Grimshaw's breakfast show on 6 Music on Monday.
Well, actually, you're going to meet Grimmy.
Going to meet Grimmy on the phone.
Oh, that's pretty cool. I mean, I'm quite nervous now because I've normally started watching the films at this point, but a combination of you sending them late, yes, I am blaming you, and my busy social schedule, and the fact that Emily, who's also on the jury with me, has been in LA until late last week, means I haven't even started, and I've got 14 movies to watch, I think, for the competition stuff, and that doesn't include Q&A bits and bobs, presumably, that I'll have to watch as well.
Yeah, I'm assuming most of those will be Q&A stuff. I don't think you'll have much more Q&A stuff than those.
I'd hope so. I'd hope not. But, normally there is always a slightly, I wouldn't say rushed screening, but me in a hotel room at 7 a.m. watching a movie that morning for a Q&A I'm doing that afternoon, which is never a way I particularly enjoy watching films, I'll be completely honest with you, but needs must sometimes.
These things happen. But not like one of our shorts jurors. One of our shorts jurors, I sent all the shorts to them. There was like 6 hours worth of shorts. And she replied to me and said, I'll get to these. I'll get to these over the weekend. And then she watched them all on a Sunday afternoon.
Yeah.
I was like, how have you managed that? But fair play to her.
I mean, it's impressive. I have feature-length films to watch. I've got God, I don't even want to know. More than
Must be 25 hours at least, I would have thought.
25 hours. So in fact, you know what? That's only a day. So it begins soon. Begins soon. Anyway,
You can, of course, sit and watch some of them in the cinema, Tom.
which I aim at, well, because I'm doing the Q&As for them, nothing gives me more anxiety than watching a film and writing notes. So I was actually having this conversation with a film critic the other day, which this may not be of interest to anyone except me and this film critic, but we were watching Wuthering Heights and they didn't have a notebook. And the other film critics out with us did have a notebook, and there was a philosophical debate about whether you are watching the movie properly if you're taking notes. Um, it was a really interesting debate to be in the middle of. Some people were saying like, no, I feel like you concentrating too much on keeping track of what's happening, so you lose track of what's happening. While the other person was saying, well, I can't remember what happens, like so I write down quotes to trigger memories as I'm watching it. And I was sat in the middle thinking, the reason I don't take notes is because I can't see in the dark like an idiot. Yeah, so that's the
That's
reason.
fair.
I write over myself while I'm doing it, so I don't take notes.
Talking about Wuthering Heights, my wife saw Wuthering Heights last week.
Yeah.
She wasn't a big fan.
No, I can imagine. My sister went to see it the other week, and she similarly was like, "Why did you recommend that to me?" And I was like, "Oh, thought you might enjoy it." Turns out I was very wrong.
Yeah, I think she really wanted to enjoy it, and she thought visually it was a treat.
Yes.
But in terms of the story itself, it was just a bit all over the place and a bit dark.
Well, since we've last spoke, I have watched because I wanted more Wuthering Heights in my life. I watched the ITV serial starring Tom Hardy and his lovely lady wife, whose name I can't remember at the moment, which is far more accurate to the book, I am told, and I enjoyed a lot more than I enjoyed the Emerald Fennell Wuthering Heights. I hate to say it, mainly because Tom Hardy, all I ever hear is the Bane voice. So even when he's Heathcliff, all I can hear is this.
Yes, that is. I mean, or the Welsh accent he does in Lock.
Yeah. Oh yeah, yeah.
Forget his Welsh accent in Lock. We're going to carry on, but my screen has just decided to turn off, die.
I can still see you. You do look slightly confused.
I mean, I feel slightly confused. No, it's definitely not happy about something. It's because I tried to Google Wuthering Heights, Tom. It went, no, you're not looking at any nonsense about this film.
You spoke about it enough. It's been out for over nearly a month now. Stop talking about it. Shall we very quickly go through our Oscar picks then, as the ceremony is this Sunday? I don't think we should do everything.
Best Picture. Let's start at the top.
Best Picture. Should we do what we want to win and what we think will win?
Both.
I want Sinners to win. I do not think it will. I think it's going to be one battle after another.
So I voted for One Battle After Another at the BAFTAs. So I'm not going to change my mind, and I'm going to vote again for One Battle After Another. I must say, I think it is one of the best years for Best Picture nominees we've had in a long time. Splitting Sinners, One Battle After Another, and Mighty Supreme for me was really tough.
Yeah, I mean, I think with the exception of F1, which we've spoken about at length,
which I do still like.
Yeah, we still like it, but it's not a Best Picture movie. I think that if any of those three won, I'd be quite happy. I'll be honest with you. Yeah. What did you say?
Sorry, I thought you said something.
Oh no, I said if any of those three won, I'd be quite happy.
Yeah, exactly. Yes, and I think that's rare at from the last few years. I think there's normally been either one front runner or maybe two, or sometimes where you're like, really? Is that the best we've got?
I mean, we've spoken about this. Coda, a movie we both enjoy, but do not think is a Best Picture winner.
No, it doesn't stand up against the other Best Picture winners of the last 20 years. Okay, Best Director.
Ooh. I mean, I think Josh Saftey's out of this. I'll be honest with you. I don't think he stands a chance after some of the recent allegations that have come to light that I won't mention here. I think that's probably poisoned any chance. I think it's Paul Thomas Anderson, really, isn't it? Like, best one in the world. I'd love it to be Ryan Coogler, but I don't see it. I don't know how you feel about it.
I think it's Paul Thomas Anderson's time.
Yeah, I agree.
And
I
again,
think
I voted for him again in the BAFTAs. So I'll stick with PTA.
fair. What about best supporting actor?
So I voted Sean Penn.
Did you?
Yeah.
See, I think he'll win it. I don't want him to win it because I don't like Sean Penn. Like, I think that's a great performance, but I genuinely dislike the man. So, I'd love Delroy Lindo to win it. I don't think he will. I mean, basically, I notice any this time I'm just picking the sinners. I'm picking
Yeah,
sinners,
I
and you're picking.
was gonna bring that up, Tom.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's probably Sean Penn's award to lose. I do wonder if Delroy. Voting closed last week, didn't it? And I do wonder what happened at BAFTA may have influenced some of the voters to give Delroy a moment. I'm not necessarily. I think he's worthy of it anyway. I genuinely do. But I could see if we're looking at like how the Academy think about these things, and to be blunt as well, sometimes the way they seek attention, I can see a world where they give it to Delroy sort of as a we're making up for what the BAFTAs did, which again, I don't want to get into what the BAFTAs did, but I could see a world where that happened. But I would, if I was betting, I'd say Sean Penn.
Yes, I would say Sean Penn. I think the BAFTAs thing was tough, wasn't it? I mean, I don't blame him for shouting out. If you've seen I Swear, you understand the condition. I do not understand why someone didn't go and put an arm around them afterwards and explain properly to them what had happened.
Genuinely bizarre. Like,
because from what I've read, they were kind of just left on their own, and no one spoke to them at all really afterwards, which seems bad.
It seems very confused as well as to, obviously, Alan Cumming made an apology on stage, or he sort of explained what had happened. But I think there's just a huge BAFTA fucked up massively, in part by not explaining ahead of time what had happened, by not apologizing the moment it happened to them directly. Just, I believe, what's his name? Is it John Davidson?
Yes.
He said, "Why was there a microphone put near him?" Do you know what I mean?
I mean, they've claimed that microphone was just for audio balancing rather than picking up sound. So,
well, regardless, I think the blame here lies with BAFTA and the BBC for not editing
I mean,
it out.
BAFTA for not addressing it very well in the room, and the BBC for airing it. I mean, and that was someone's gone for that, surely.
You'd imagine so.
I mean, if you watch the Brits, wow, they were quick on the button for muting anything that happened in that show.
They were indeed.
After the watershed, and you can't say S or F. It was mad.
Let's go on to Best Supporting Actress. And I do think for once, I'm not voting for Sinners. As much as I love Wunmi.
I think this is a tough one. I think it'll go to one other One Battle After Another actresses.
No, do you think? I think it's between Wunmi and Amy Madigan from Weapons.
I don't think the Academy will go for. I don't think the Academy will go for Amy Madigan.
Do you not think?
I think they're too serious.
Are you telling me that that's not serious? Yeah, I think Wunmi will win this one. I do, which is why I feel easy to say I want Amy to win, because I don't think she will. But I think Teyana Taylor. I don't. No, I just don't see it.
Okay.
We're going to look back on this in a week, aren't we, and be like, wow, we really got that wrong. Who would have thought Elle Fanning?
Okay, best actor then.
So, realistically, is Leo the favourite again?
I don't know. I think we've previously said it was Chalamet's to lose.
I thought it was Chalamet's to lose, but so obviously we were addressing before this what the comments he made about ballet and opera, and he made them after Academy voting had stopped. So so they shouldn't have impacted this at all. To be honest, it's just, I don't know. I see a world where Leo wins it. I want Leo to win it. I want Michael B. Jordan to win it, but Michael B. I was reading something today, and people were saying like Michael B. Jordan's is good in Sinners, but he's better in everything else that he's made, which I don't necessarily agree with, because they were saying he's better in Fruitvale Station and Creed and Black Panther, which I don't agree with. I'd like Michael B. Jordan to win it. I fear it will fall into the it's a horror movie, it's not a serious film type trap that you foresee for Amy. And I could see a world in which, you know what, I just don't know, because everyone even Wagner Moura in The Secret Agent, a movie I didn't really like that much, I could see he's fantastic in it, and I could see a world where he wins. Like, this is I think it's a very, very close category for me. I don't know who will win, to be honest. Any of them.
No, I think that's probably one of the tighter categories in terms of it could be one of 3 or 4 of them.
Because you could say, right, well, Timmy is the favourite, but then you only need some strategic voting one way or the other, and all of a sudden it opens the field up to Michael, Ethan, Wagner. Then, and that's how you get something like Coda winning. None of us saw it coming, and it's because most people put it as their second or third choice that year, and it just stacked up enough votes that way, and Kate snuck in through the back door. And I could see a world in which people want to unthrone Timothy, so that lets like Ethan Hawke win, or as I say, Michael.
Yeah, and I think we've already covered Best Actress.
Yeah, it's Jessie Buckley's, isn't it? Like,
yeah, I mean, if it's not, I'll be absolutely blown away.
It's definitely
not
going to be Emma,
though she doesn't like cats.
Even though she doesn't like cats and made her husband get rid of his cats before they moved in together, which she has since denied. We should say she's since said that didn't happen, but she's made an enemy of the internet and me.
But dogs are better than cats, so that's all we need
to know.
They're
not, Neil. They're not.
They are, Tom.
I do feel that we should very quickly address Best Animated Feature, mainly because I want K-pop Demon Hunters to win.
I'll be surprised if it doesn't.
It's not going to be Elio, is it? Let's be honest.
No, it's not going to be Elio. Elio was not good.
Elio, no.
Zootopia / Zootropolis 2. Obviously the highest grossing amongst them, but it's not a best. It's not doing anything. It's not doing anything new, is it?
There's a booger. Like, it's
I mean, is the other one up for nomination? Arco.
Yes.
Now, I've not seen that, and could that do a flow and come out of nowhere and win the award?
I feel like I'm showing my ignorance here around the animated movies, but I saw everywhere in the build up to to the Oscars.
Yes, true.
Whereas with Arco, I've not heard of it. I'll be honest. Like, I'm sure it's great. Like, I'm sure I'll watch it in a year or so and be like, wow, that actually was better than K-pop Demon Hunter. I just feel that, like, K-pop Demon Hunter, the Oscars like to be populist at times, as much as we say they don't like to be. They like these moments, and K-pop Demon Hunter is arguably, even though Zootopia 2 was bigger, they had the biggest box office, that's only because someone at Netflix messed up and didn't put it in cinemas.
Yeah. I mean, we can't... There's no contest for Best Original Song, surely.
No, absolutely not. It's Golden.
Yeah, just in case anyone wasn't aware, there's a song called Golden from K-pop Demon Hunters. It would be mad if that didn't win.
No, it's Golden to win. Presumably they'll sing it. I should imagine that's probably already been announced. It shows how much attention I pay to the actual ceremony.
I hope the ceremony is more interesting than the BAFTA ceremony, because I did think the BAFTA ceremony was pretty dull.
I think they're all pretty... I think there hasn't been... This makes me sound deranged, I'm aware. Ever since the Oscars slap, basically, award ceremonies have felt very tame.
Yeah, I like it. I like Alan Cummings. He's a good actor. I'm sure he's a good host on Traitors in America, but I don't think he was the right host. I think you need a stand-up.
You think you need someone with a bit of energy?
I think you need a bit of lightness, a bit of comedy, someone who's not going to take it too seriously. Because I think the problem is when these awards things take themselves so seriously. I understand it's serious for the industry, and as when I'm casting my votes and watching the films, I take that very seriously. But the awards itself, whilst serious and whilst we're celebrating the best in the industry, you need a bit of lightness to that as well to appeal to someone watching on the BBC
That's why I think
who isn't
having
in the
some,
industry.
but that's why I'd say having someone like Conan O'Brien, I think he could do a good job. I think he's a very funny guy. I've enjoyed some of the skits that I've seen him filming and putting out on Instagram and TikTok this week. I could see him doing a decent job with it. I wasn't sold on Alan, I'll be honest with you, but that's because I miss David Tennant.
I don't think David Tennant was a great presenter for it. I think you need someone who's going to bring a bit of levity to it, who can balance that sort of seriousness and levity.
Who would you pick?
British-wise, I mean, not Ricky Gervais. He did a great job at the Golden Globes, but I don't think he's the right fit for a BAFTA.
No.
I think probably a bit too far that way. Get Ant and Dec on there. No, they do the Soap Awards. I think it's tough. It's tricky, isn't it? You kind of want someone from the world of film. I mean, Jack Whitehall didn't do a horrendous job on the BAFTA.
I thought he was good at the. I thought he was good at the Brits,
and I think he would do the BAFTAs very differently to how he does the Brits. And he is a serious actor. I think someone like him would be a great shout.
I mean, he was literally the one I was thinking of. I think he did a good job at the Brits. I think he's got enough industry sort of like pull. He's made Disney movies. He's made, he's done loads at this point. He's made documentaries with Netflix. Like, he's a figure in the industry. Like, I'd pick him over Ant and Dec any day of the week.
Yeah. I mean, or Graham Norton.
I'd love Graham Norton to do it, but I just don't think. I think, yeah, you know what? He would be good. Like, I was trying to think, like, is it the same skill set though that he uses in his chat show?
No, but he's been a presenter. He's presented before. Like, it's not outside of his skill set, is it?
Eurovision.
Yeah.
When he's clearly drunk on clearly had a glass of wine. I won't say he's drunk because that's libelous, but he's, maybe had a wine or two before he starts filming.
So I just think you need a bit more levity to it. I think the BAFTAs didn't have any music, seem to have any music either, or something just to break it up. I think you need something just to lighten it.
The BAFTAs is because I used to report on the Oscars back in the day when the ceremony would run for 6 hours, and you'd just be like, "End this now." But I would say that BAFTA has always been, it's a tight 90 minutes is what we see of the ceremony, of what they actually broadcast. Maybe you could go to 2 hours and have a musical act or two, throughout, rather
just lighten
than
it up a bit.
Yeah, you don't need the full skits that the Academy like to put in. I'm banning them.
I don't know about skits. The pre-recorded skits. I think don't, and I think the one at the start of the BAFTAs was excruciating.
Yeah, it wasn't good.
But again, that's not Alan Cummings' fault. Right, I think we probably best leave it there because I think this is probably enough awards chat. And thankfully, we can maybe reference what won next time we talk. But next time we talk, we might actually be at Manchester Film Festival, Tom. We might record a live pod in person.
Let's do that. Oh my God, when I'm there from Thursday.
Yeah, after you've interviewed Kit, after opening night's been and gone, and we're all sort of 7 days into the 11 days of the festival, having to discuss what's going to win the awards at our festival.
Yeah, exactly. And we'll be like, do you think this is how you'll be like saying, we need a skit to break up the awards. We need a musical number.
Get them handed out and get to the pub.
Agreed.
Yeah, I mean, people have asked, are you going to do a sit-down dinner for it before? And I can't think of anything worse.
Sit down. I mean, think how much that would cost.
Yeah, well, some film festivals do sit-down dinners and charge the filmmakers like 200 quid a ticket to attend the awards.
Yeah, shan't be. Wouldn't be me. Sorry, Neil.
No, I mean, it's not something I would do. I'm not going to charge filmmakers to have to come to their own awards ceremony. That would be madness. So, yeah, it's we'll present them in the cinema again this year, and then we'll all go to home to get merry afterwards and celebrate the festival as a whole.
Lovely stuff.
And realistically, we do awards because the filmmakers do like it. Even the ones who don't win like the idea of like having the awards. So, it's there for them, and it's there to celebrate and give them a platform and a springboard. Because having that laurel on, the official selection laurel on, is great, but having a I won an award laurel does help.
Of course it does.
and
We've said this
does
a lot.
add gravitas to your film and opens up those doors for those conversations with sales agents and distributors.
Everyone wants a buzzy.
Everyone wants, and it's also a beautiful little trophy to put on your shelf.
It is indeed. I've got one myself.
Cool. Right. Well, we will leave it there, Tom. Fantastic chatting to you as always. Catch us wherever you get your podcasts, and we'll see you next time between screenings.
Bye.